This is the special session for GATE 2024. I am going to teach you today the resistance theory. Resistance theory is actually a different kind of theory connected to various types of resistance done by the countries which were colonized or the group of people who found a way or a method to protest against the government, the colonizing government. रेसिस्टेंस थ्योरी की बात करने वाले हैं. रेसिस्टेंस थ्योरी में बहुत सारे चाहे ग्रुप्स के रेसिस्टेंस हो चाहे कंट्रीज के रेसिस्टेंस हो वो मेंशन किया जाता है. यहां पे आप देखिए सबसे पहले द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रेसिस्टेंस वी हैव इज हार्लेम रेनेसां. हार्लेम रेनेसां इज एक्चुअली कनेक्टेड टू अफ्रीकन एंड अफ्रो अमेरिकन लिटरेचर. अफ्रीकन एंड अफ्रो अमेरिकन, इसको आप नोट कर सकते हैं. African and Afro-American literature. Harlem Renaissance primarily deals with the people who are living at the area of Harlem. अब क्या हुआ, एक ऐसी जगह जहां हार्लेम नाम का एरिया था और बहुत सारे अफ्रीकन who were forcefully taken to the American places, American colonies. Harlem was a place where all these Africans were kept. Just like हम बहुत सारे मजदूरों को लेके आते हैं, आपने देखा होगा चमचमाते शहरों के जस्ट बाहर आपको झुग्गी झोपड़ी मिलेगी. You will find a lot of slums just outside of the shining, sparkling cities. So yes, the Harlem was the area where the Africans were kept, and these Africans there started celebrating their own culture. They were actually in the group, so they realized that we all are here and we can celebrate. तो हुआ ये दोस्तों कि हार्लेम के अंदर जितने भी अफ्रीकन लोग वहां रहते थे, they decided that we will have our mini Africa, we will have our culture here, we will celebrate. इसलिए इसे हार्लेम रेनेसां भी कहा जाता है. इसको आप नोट कर सकते हैं. हार्लेम एक एरिया का नाम है, नेम ऑफ द एरिया, एंड द हार्लेम सेलिब्रेशन, हार्लेम रीअवेकनिंग इज कॉल्ड हार्लेम रेनेसां. यानी कि क्या हुआ, इन्होंने बोला कि yes, we are Africans, we have been forcefully driven and taken to this place, but as we are living here, 500 people, 800 people, 1000 people, we are living here, we will have small Africa. We will not give up. We will celebrate our songs, our music, our festivals, our foodings, our style. For example, I'm in Delhi. In Delhi, the area of Green Park has a lot of Africans. So I personally have seen they have their own barber shop, they have their own restaurants, they have their regular gatherings, they have their own music, they celebrate, they have their own clubs. So yes, in fact, Green Park is sometimes called mini Africa. So in Harlem, when they question you from literature point of view, the most important writer we have is Langston Hughes. The most important writer, Langston Hughes. He's the one who has famously written a work called Harlem. Langston Hughes himself has written a work. The name of the poetry is called Harlem. There are many questions in exam. This is also called the Dream Deferred. So Langston Hughes wrote a poetry, Harlem, also called Dream Deferred. Another poetry he has written is I Too Sing America. I Too Sing America. That's a very important work. Along with this thing, we have some other writers. Lauren Hansberry. Lauren Hansberry is a celebrated writer. And then we have, after Lawrence Hansberry, we have some other writers. Nikki, Giovanni. These are the famous writers who have written famous works dealing with Harlem. We also have many other writers who are dealing with the celebrations of Harlem and identities. But make sure two most important writers who are going to rule in exam is Lauren Hansberry, famous work Raisin in the Sun, and Langston Hughes. Along with them, we have The Native Son written by Richard Wright. James Baldwin is there. There are some other writers, but make sure you remember this particular concept of Harlem, Langston Hughes, and Lauren Hansberry. This is a brief lecture on this. The next one we have is Negritude. Same kind of movement, also called Black Aesthetic Movement. Also called Black Aesthetic Movement. So please remember this thing that Negritude, it actually started in the area of American colonies, French American dominated colonies, and the main person behind this was Aimé Césaire. This is the founder figure of this movement, and the famous writer of this group is Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston. Please remember for GATE exam, these are the famous writers. They can ask questions related to these things. The famous work written by Zora Neale Hurston is Their Eyes Were Watching God. Their Eyes Were Watching God. This writer is really famous. This writer is the founder figure. Along with this, you can also go for the famous writers Buchi Emecheta. You can connect it with them. You can also go for Volsoinka and some other writers who have talked about the African identity. In fact, Gugiwo Thiong'o has dealt with American African nativity. Make sure you read these writers, and please make a clear difference between negritude and Harlem. My throat is not supporting, so somewhere I'm not able to give my 100% because this is weather changing and my throat is not supporting me. But remember, Harlem and the black aesthetic movement or the negritude, the base is same, idea is same, but the areas are different, founder figures are different, writers are different. Now, same kind of resistance movement we have in Australia. See, these are high level lectures. Normally, these lectures are not available directly. So, I am bringing you all the movements from different countries. This is Zindi Warbeck movement. Zindi Warbeck movement. It started in Australia. The name of the area was Adelaide. It's a famous place where we have some cricket matches. In the area Adelaide in Australia, this movement was started. There are two writers who support this movement. There are many others, but these are the famous writers: Judith Wright, Doris Lessing. Doris Lessing is also a Nobel awardee. A.D. Hope, and some others. But remember this: Australia is also dominated by the English people. Australia was a place, it has a big space, big area, big patch of land, but there were no people. So the English settlers went there and colonized the local Australians, the fourth world literature people. So the colonized local Australians, they also protested against the colonizing army. If you remember the famous writer Peter Carey, Peter Carey is a Booker awardee writer. Peter Carey's famous work, The True History of Kelly Gang. True History of Kelly Gang. If you have not read this now. True History of Kelly Gang deals with the atrocities done by the imperial police and the protests by the locals, by the native. True History of Kelly Gang, written by Peter Carey, has won Booker Award. Judith Wright, Doris Lessing, A.D. Hope represent the fourth world literature, the native oppressions, and the troubles created by the colonizers. So that is a movement, Zindi Warbeck movement. The question will be, it started in Adelaide country, Australia, who are the famous writer, and that's a resistance movement. The next one we have is garrison mentality, a term that has been coined by Northrop Frye, supported by Margaret Edward. This term deals with it actually a movement. It's a movement that started in Canada. This movement started in Canada. So these two writers are primarily connected, but along with them, Morris West and some other writers are there. Margaret Lawrence is there. Point is that even Canada was dominated by the Britishers and the French. When Britishers went to colonize America and Canada, the Britishers had a stronghold in America. French people had a stronghold in Canada. Canada's another official language is French. One of my students, she is pursuing PhD. She also told me this, that sir, either we have English people or Punjabis or French, three different strong languages. English and French are the lingua franca of Canada. So we have talked about garrison mentality, Canada, two writers we have mentioned. Read these writers for GATE exam. Zindi Warbeck movement, Australia, Adelaide. Read these writers. Make notes. जूडिथ राइट को पढ़ो, किताबों के बारे में पढ़ो, कौन कौन सी बुक्स हैं. Then we have to go for negritude movement. Make sure that the writers of negritude movement you read separately. Ames Cesar, as a writer, not very famous, but founder figure hai. Zora Neale Hurston, famous work, Their Eyes Were Watching God. So read that. Then you have to go for the another movement that was called Harlem Renaissance. Harlem Renaissance, please make sure Lauren Hansberry, लैंगस्टन ह्यूजेस, रिचर्ड राइट, इनको सबको जरूर पढ़ना. रिचर्ड राइट, नेटिव सन इज अ क्लासिक, इट्स अ मस्ट रीड, जरूर पढ़ना. जेम्स बाल्डविन, गो टेल इट टू द माउंटेन इज अ मस्ट रीड. मार्गरेट मिशेल, गॉन विद द विंड इज अ मस्ट रीड. ये सारी कहानियां बहुत जरूरी हैं. मल्टीपल क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन आस्क्ड. दिस इज स्पेशली फॉर गेट एग्जाम. आपका फरवरी में एग्जाम है. एंड दोज हु वांट टू join our classes, our crash course, we have a crash course starting from 1st of January. 1st जनवरी से क्रैश कोर्स स्टार्ट हो रहा है. इफ यू वांट टू प्रिपेयर फॉर गेट एग्जाम, दिस इज द यूपीआई नंबर, दिस इज द फीस. 5000 में आपको हाई लेवल लेक्चर्स मिलेंगे. द वे आई एम टीचिंग, that will be more elaborated lectures in proper detail. You will also get PDF notes. Along with that, reasoning and maths will be free of cost. गेट में हाई लेवल मैथ्स आती है, हाई लेवल रीजनिंग होती है. रीजनिंग एंड मैथ्स, इफ यू गो फॉर some separate study, anybody would charge more than 5000. Here, in this very small fees of 5000, you will get English lectures, video lectures of English literature for GATE syllabus. Along with that, you will be going for maths and reasoning free of cost. How to join? Very simple. This is the number: Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm. Deposit 5000, send the screenshot on same number पे screenshot भेजो. Write your name, your state, slip and gate crash course, and you will be registered. Stay tuned, subscribe the channel, because next I'm going to talk about poetry schools, drama schools and types of novels. Thank you so much.